I'm the scat man. I'm the scat man.
Hey.
Hi.
Welcome to NHL Puck Props, presented by Sports Interaction. Josh Inglis, Carlo Colaiacovo, 14-year NHL veteran, and a man who doesn't like to wear undershirts in the summer months.
You look like Ed Norton. With
Do
that,
I?
Yeah, that mustache and that brown jacket that you got going on.
Maroon.
Yeah, it's like you look like Ed Norton from the Italian Job.
Nice, thank you.
Yeah,
that was the look I was going for when I put it on today. Yeah, I'm like, oh, this is a nice collared white shirt. Happy to see everybody there in the chat. Welcome to the Wednesday show, presented by Sports Interaction. Sports Interaction has you covered for all these picks. Download the app. It is kind of a treat to watch Edmonton play hockey.
it is, but it's also so unrealistic.
But we're past that narrative. We are past that narrative.
But that's the thing. I can't get past it. I'm still asking myself, how?
Stuart Skinner is a legit goaltender, bro.
No, it's not even Stuart Skinner. It's the Edmonton roster.
Corey Perry, top line. Let's go.
It's just, hey, look, I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Some teams just know how to elevate their game at this time of year, and they've found a way. They've absolutely found a way.
Who buried the empty netter? Kapanen?
Kapanen, yeah. And Henrique.
Yes. Had the empty net goal. That was plus 115. And now I need someone in the chat to find it. I couldn't find it. Find me what the empty net goal price is, because at even money or better, I think it's another go. Especially
okay, Jingles, you're a guy that's great at handicapping this stuff. On my show this morning, me and AK had a discussion.
Yes.
Hypothetical discussion. Okay.
Yes.
If the Maple Leafs would have beaten the Florida Panthers,
sure,
and the Maple Leafs would have made the Stanley Cup final, and it would have been a Toronto-Edmonton Stanley Cup final.
Mm-hmm.
Who would the sportsbooks make the favorite in that matchup?
So just look at it right now. I believe the hypothetical is Pick'em, Florida, Edmonton, that's pre-Hyman injury. Hyman's worth a couple points, I think. I don't think the books value Toronto as much as Edmonton, which is funny saying that. But
even if they would have beaten Florida in 7 games.
Edmonton has home ice versus Florida, correct?
Yes, and okay. Toronto would have had home ice.
Home ice, yes. I think Edmonton's a favorite on neutral, if that makes sense to you.
Okay, so then Toronto would be a small favorite in the final.
Slight series favorite, maybe minus 115, but then the market's going to move it 5 or 10 points one way or the other, depending on where it is.
I mean, it's hard. It's going to be hard to win a game in Edmonton. That building is electric. Like, you talk about the best home ice advantage in the league right now. I think it belongs to Edmonton.
But I just enjoyed that hockey game, right? Like Stuart Skinner held the fort. That first period, Dallas was all over him.
They were
right. That I was on the Marchman and Seguin Point combo, and they were everywhere in that first period. But don't get me wrong, there's some lack of talent in Dallas in terms of getting pucks to the net. How many lazy 3-on-2 backhand on the off wings did you see just throw at the net?
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought there was some ugliness in it. Those 2 interference penalties in the offensive zone. Like, what are you doing, Corey Perry? And who was the other one? Was it Jamie Benn?
For what?
Setting picks in the offensive zone. They got called for interference that led to both the goals.
Wasn't it Duchesne? Matt Duchesne?
Yeah, it might have been Duchesne. They were just stupid picks.
Yeah.
Ugly stuff going on there. Let me bring up the numbers for Dallas. Like, Dallas's numbers are terrifying. 3 5-on-5 goals in the series. That's disgusting. In the playoffs, 43% of their goals have come at even strength. That's not good enough. They've allowed the first goal in 14 of 17 games. You don't win playoff games like that.
Yeah.
They're 2-6 straight up on the road with 11 goals for and 32 against. Wyatt Johnson, -18. Matt Duchene, -15. Rantanen and Granlund have 33% of the team's goals through 17 games. Yes, they've gone through some great teams, but is Dallas just not at the level of Edmonton is right now?
Doesn't seem like it. Doesn't seem like it. I know they're struggling to score. I mean, Skinner's, been the boogeyman for them, but Edmonton's just playing a harder game. Like 200-foot game.
Talk to me about Evan Bouchard's slash on Rupe Hintz's foot.
I loved it.
Yeah, so did the announcers. Yeah, that's playoff hockey.
I loved it. I mean, that's a guy that's Evan Bouchard doing that. And that's why I loved it, is because that's not the guy you would think to take a shot like that. But he's like, hey, remember, you're playing playoff hockey here. If this foot hurts, it's going to hurt even more after you come to the net. I'm going to slash you every time you get there. I loved it.
Is that why we see Austin Matthews not tell anybody what's wrong with him?
I mean, that's after the season, though. Like, I can understand, like, during the playoffs, everyone wants to keep things a secret, but the season's over. You're not playing any more hockey. Like, why? I mean, unless it's personal, I don't know. But, like, I don't understand the position to say, oh, I'd just rather not say anything.
Just rather not talk to the media, period.
Well, I mean, like, just leaving that door open for speculation, I think, just makes more people believe, or at least speculate, as to what it is he was dealing with, or question, okay, so if he's not willing to tell us, what was really wrong with him? Why didn't he score? Why didn't he, put up more points? You just leave that window open for more discussion instead of just
squashing it.
Yeah.
You know what a good analogy of that is? Settling something on the ice quickly the next game so it doesn't linger.
True.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you always hear that. Well, now it's finished.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to linger more people. You don't have Evan Bouchard slashing Rupe in the foot. I didn't.
Yeah.
But it's whatever. It is what it is. Insight saying end of season betting rankings had Toronto 9, Edmonton 10. So probably a similar price, but there was a slight price correction. We saw Florida somewhere down there, and they obviously had different betting market rankings when the playoffs hit. Jonathan Davis says Mason Marchment was the interference penalty. Yes, thank you very much. He's not very good with the puck, Mason Marchment. Giant guy, want him on your team, but when you're asking Mason Marchment to be your number 2 scoring guy, or even the top line, when the top line's not going, you're in trouble, and that's why you're not seeing a lot of goals. Brett Frederick says, Josh, is the oil hate finally done? Yeah. It was a humbling game to watch last night. To watch Stuart Skinner play great. I think the shot attempts were like 32 to 10 in the first period. The Oilers power play looks incredible. They lost Hyman. They still look good. That catch and pass. No player, maybe Pasta, is better on that short side, sharp angle than Leon Draisaitl by far.
I couldn't agree more.
I love it. Like he just gets it there. Ex-Leaf, Mason Marchment. There's a lot of ex-Leafs out there still playing. Carter Verhaeghe.
Brown. Verhaeghe.
Yeah. Insight says Edmonton goes as far as Skinner takes him, and he's taking them quite far. It's pretty insane to say that Calvin Pickard is on the bench and is 6-0 in the playoffs.
So true.
And Hyman's out. But Hyman's role wasn't. Corey Perry can fill that Hyman playoff role. Yeah,
but for how long? Like Hyman can do it over an extended number of games. Like you're going to have that, one off of Perry game. Can Perry do it in a 7-game series against Florida? You hope so. They're going to need that now, because I can tell you one thing. I don't think Hyman's returning this series or this playoffs.
Did Kane go out? I didn't see Kane go out.
Did he? He did, but I think he returned at some point in the third period.
Just saw him shooting center mass every time he had the opportunity. Here comes a Evan Vander Kane shot and swallowed with a whistle.
Yeah.
The Hyman situation, obviously worth some points, like I said, but you touched on it, 7 games. The longer the series goes, if it is Florida and Edmonton, it's Florida's game. No, like that depth's just too dumb. Even if Reinhart doesn't play, even if it's Boqvist, Rodriguez, and Barkov on that top line, you still can't match that depth.
I mean, Edmonton's shown that they found some depth. I mean,
But Adam
see
Henrique
again,
empty net goals, Kapanen empty net
you
goals.
can't wrap your head around Edmonton and how they're winning, but they're winning, man. They're finding a way.
I know. All right, let's get to some picks today. I also need to price. I know Jonathan Davis probably has a quick price there, or Adam's Digest. Find me the price for empty net goal. I got plus 115 yesterday, and you saw goalies getting pulled in a 1-goal game. You saw Ottinger hit the bench at just under the 3-minute mark, and you're getting multiple empty net goals because of it. Let's get the Rodriguez assist. Boom, 185. 185. This is the Ryan Nugent-Hopkins of this series. It's insane what Nuge and Rodriguez are doing in this series. Both of them MVPs of the series by far. We're going Boqvist for a goal, plus 400, and we'll get your take on it, why I'm putting it in now. Let's go. Didn't want to spell his last name, but I can spell his first name. Eetu Luostarinen, anytime goal, 750. That's where I want him on that. I want that third line. It's probably going to be Brad Marchand getting the last goal. Don't forget about that. Eetu, 750 is a great spot. And then Aho over 2.5 shots on goal plus money. He looked very pissed off last game. 7 shots on net. Didn't like getting bullied by Tkachuk, who, what did you think of that embellishment call?
On Tkachuk?
Yeah.
Or was it
on Tkachuk? Stahl hooked him, and yeah.
I mean, clearly the referees have focused in on the embellishment part of it, and I think they're understanding that it's playoffs and guys are trying to draw penalties, and I think they've made it a priority to call those. I thought it was the right call.
Wow. Yeah.
You don't?
Embellishment?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
You don't?
No, I don't think so. I don't think you can call a hook and an embellishment. It's like an oxymoron. It doesn't make any sense.
Okay, so you're right. You're right. I agree with you on that. It's either one or the other.
Yeah.
Right? But
I still can't get, and I bring it up every day now on the show. Evan Rodriguez getting his face stapled to the glass. And
that was a terrible call.
That's still the funniest call of the playoffs. I still think, see that.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was a terrible call. Yeah.
Yeah. No. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I asked you. I said like Reinhart, and you don't think Reinhart's playing today. You don't like. No. You think Reinhart getting in the lineup is going to be a long shot going forward?
Yeah, like I'd be very surprised to see him return this series or return at all in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I mean, without having any knowledge of the injury with anybody around the team, I'm just going based on what I saw. And to me, what I saw was usually how an MCL injury happens. Now, you could play through an MCL injury depending on the degree. It all depends on what degree, but I'd be very surprised if we saw Sam Reinhart again.
That's where my guy right there, Evan Rodriguez, continues to just pick apples continuously. That's it. We'll take it. 185 is a big price. We were getting plus 250. That's insane that we were getting plus 250.
They're adjusting it now.
That's fine. 185 is still a very good price for a guy PP1, line 1, getting a good matchup. How much of an importance it is to Florida, and do you think Paul Maurice mentions it at all to the group, to just empty the opponent's barn? You saw it, but like they're on a hell of a run doing it. They've done it in four straight games.
Yeah, and remember game 2, right? They had everybody in Carolina running for the exits early too.
That's it. Game 1, game 2, Toronto game 7, Toronto game 5. Like this is a hell of a streak of going into people's barns and absolutely starting off hot and not fading at all.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we see that again, or has Carolina found a little success in what they did in game 4?
I mean, I would be surprised if we saw it again. I mean, usually teams learn from their mistakes, and except if you're the Toronto Maple Leafs. But But I think a lot of it is going to depend on who scores the first goal. Like if Florida scores the first goal, I think there's a chance you could see it again, because then Carolina has to cheat a little bit. They've got to, play out of their structure. I think the longer this game stays even, and even if Carolina can get the first goal, the game changes, as we saw last game.
Are there guys who step up more in these games, as Adam Digest says, Bennett legacy game? Like, can you pick out guys who say the longer the series goes, he has a better chance of contributing?
Yeah, I think Bennett's a perfect example of that, right? Because I think there's players that turn on the switch come playoff time of just elevating their game, knowing that every game is an investment. And the later the series goes, some guys just train their body to get better with the investment they make. And then there's some guys that just break down the longer the series goes because, they just don't have, the energy or the,
Fight.
the conditioning to go through that. Right.
Nick Getchell. I live in Buffalo, and I used to pick up Evan Rodriguez's garbage. I was a sanitation worker, and one day he came outside and threw me $50, and we chopped it up for a few minutes.
Nice.
Love hearing regular people's stories with interactions with him.
Nice.
Also, Georgetown Raiders Junior B, Evan Rodriguez. Don't forget, played a little hockey in Georgetown, but if you didn't know that.
Your neck of the woods, eh?
I think
Is he going to become the mayor of Georgetown if he wins a second Stanley Cup?
Not if I have anything to do with it.
You show up with that jacket and that mustache?
Oh, yes. I'd like to speak to the floor here. No, it's listening to local politicians might literally be the worst thing you'll ever hear. Look at your head shaking. It's like, yeah, you get in there. You should be running for regional counselor, bud.
I tell you what, I'd be doing a lot of things better than what most.
Oh, he's going. We're getting a political tirade from Carlo Colaiacovo.
We'll get into political stuff with me.
Oh, geez, look, he's all fired up. But no, that's it. Can you see Freddie? Also, someone says Freddie's going to Freddie. Freddie, we all know, has a finite amount of good play in him.
Mm-hmm.
Freddie can't go 4 straight games of good hockey.
And I think they recognize that too, which is probably why they gave him the game 3 off, right?
Pushing the right buttons.
Yeah.
No, I got no love for Freddie.
Counselor Carlo.
I think it's safe. Not safe, but like I know a lot of people lost money in game 4. 100%. Games 1, games 2, games 3. There was no reason to expect a giant fight out of Carolina in Florida in game 4. I think you can run back every bet that you had on game 4 back in game 5 here.
That's right? Fair. Yeah.
I think your handicap of what you thought in game 4 can very much happen in this game.
And you're almost better off doing that, because if you watch this game and you're trying to find something different in it and everything you had last game ends up hitting, you're going to feel even worse.
A very good betting point. Sometimes choosing the bet is about how you'll feel if it hits or does not hit.
Yeah.
Thinking about your mentality later for sure.
Yeah.
So JPC4 says Florida puck line again. I was on Florida -2.5. I was on the Rodriguez 2+ points. Boakvist. Sorry, yeah, in game 4. I think you go Boakvist if that's the way it goes. I think you can take Boakvist and Rodriguez again for 2 points. I think we're getting that at 25-1. I think Barkov, Boakvist, and Rodriguez each for 2 points was 55-1 in that game. Still not finalized, but hearing Evan Rodriguez headed back to Pittsburgh, traded from Pens to Leafs and Kapanen deal, Toronto didn't. How crazy is it that the Cats run 2 D-men on the first unit?
Yeah, very unique. I mean, it's something we don't see very often play out in the NHL nowadays. I mean, you're seeing teams throw 5 forwards out there, and to see 2 defensemen out there over the 4 forward traditional look is a surprise look for me.
But they're happy to throw out the second unit too for a full minute as well, right?
Yeah, and who QBs that? Is it Forsling that QBs that one on defense?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think so.
And if you're looking for Dallas power play props going forward, it was the second unit. It was the Harley Duchesne, Marchman Seguin Harley unit that was getting all the first looks yesterday in last night's game. The Caps did run 2 D-man. They ran it for quite a while with Carlson.
It's Carlson and Chychrun, right?
Correcto. That's it. Final projection, final score projection here. What do you got? And last goal. Give me a last goal score projection.
I actually think Carolina's going to win this game. I'm going to go Jordan Martinook, last goal, empty netter.
Oh, that's a good one. He knows he's the man over the board. He's the man. Did you see Craig Ludwig on Spit and Chicklets yesterday talking about his shin pads?
Well, I heard that, so I didn't see it, but did he not used to drive over them in the parking lots?
Producer Mick, if you can bring up it's Ryan, right? Why?
Ryan Whitney?
No, Ludwig. What's Ludwig?
Craig Ludwig.
What's that?
Craig Ludwig.
Sorry, Craig Ludwig. Shin pads. Search it and put it up. There's a picture of him, and Whitney referred to it as you have 2 refrigerators on your leg. But yes, he would open them up.
Yeah. So what happened was, what I know about him, and I knew this when I played with Daryl Sador, is he would grab them and he'd take them into the parking lot where the cars are, and he would drive over them with his car so that they would flatten, so that they would create a wider look, so that when he blocked shots, he could block more shots.
He had a funny
there was
story.
A couple of guys. There was a couple guys that I played with that would do that, just drive over them so that they would flatten.
But wouldn't they just click on? That's what he said. Like you would have to skate bow-legged just to not have them hit each other.
You mean? Well, I mean, back then skating wasn't a big thing. You had a stay-at-home defenseman that could barely skate. If they just clear the puck out of the glass, or if they just stood in front of the net and hacked away at you guys and blocked shots, that's clearly what he did.
Insight: Brad Marchand has scored the most career empty net goals in the playoffs with 10 goals. Yes. Finished off the lead.
Martinook, last goal, plus 4,500.
Oh Lord, there's your 2 last goals.
So here's a tricky part. What if he gets the first empty net goal and then Florida still keeps the goalie?
Sweating that out would be the absolute worst.
Just like the other night.
Night. But
right?
like you would see, like if you got the Brad Marchand last goal versus the Leafs in Game 7. That was from 175 feet away.
Yeah.
Like if one of those fell, you would hurt.
Like you get a Martinook goal with a minute left, and then Florida still keeps their goalie out, and you're like, no. And then you get a Nikishin, like the defenseman, Nikishin.
Yeah.
Empty net goal.
The only assist on he got the early assist there. What does the Stackman think of Bennett and Verhaeghe? I think the better price is Lundell and Marchman. On the 2.
I agree.
And my order of where I would do it, I would go Boqvist, Rodriguez, Barkov together for a big one, and then the third line for a big one. And I think that is number 3 on the pecking order, just because of the price it is. That's where we go. If you can find an empty net prop, will there be an empty net goal at even money or better? I think that's a buy too. And if I can find it, I'll put it out. But
empty net goal for either team, right?
Either team, correct. I have no issue. Betting that. It's a fun way to bet, but people are pulling goals way earlier than normal. So Rodriguez assist plus 185, Boqvist anytime goal plus 400. You can wait if you think you can get to that number early once we find out that Reinhart is out. Sure, I'm putting it on the card now. We're going E2 for a goal plus 750. Not a lot I'm not a usually goal guy, but I like those numbers. And Aho over 2.5 shots on goal plus money. So 1, 2, 3, 4 plus money plays. Look for that empty net goal Thursday. Got no baseball. Got to do some packing. We're going to Albania on Saturday, bud.
You are?
Albania. Oh, yeah.
Family trip?
No, work.
Oh.
Conference. Yeah.
In Albania?
Wow. Oh, yeah. I'll be doing the show from the beaches of Albania. But
nice. All right.
Let's go.
I'll be doing the show next week from the RBC Canadian Open.
Oh, it's that week for you guys. What a fun week.
Yeah.
As long as the rain holds off.
I know.
Right? That's it. Wasn't last week? Didn't AK get to go do? Was that when he got to do some amateur stuff? Didn't he get to swing the clubs
last week or last year?
Last year.
Yeah, he played in the Pro-Am.
Yeah, there's a really funny video of it's like there's a sign that says pros this way, amateurs that way, and it goes that way to the pros. That's a funny video. Yeah. All right, enjoy, pal. We'll be back here tomorrow, maybe wrapping things up, maybe looking at some hand off the cup odds and what is actually should be considered when handicapping that. But we got the plays in. Appreciate everybody there in the chat. Wednesdays a wrap. NHL Puck Props presented by Sports Interaction. Sports Interaction has you covered for all these picks. Download the app. Let's go. Appreciate it, pal. Enjoy your Wednesday. Lead us out, buddy.
Thanks, buddy. Ciao.